Hi, in this video I will talk about the Prophets Surah and in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. He said, My Lord knows every thought in the heaven and the earth. He is the hearer, the omniscient. They even said hallucinations, he made it up. And he is a poet. Let him show us a miracle like those of the previous messengers. We never annihilated a believing community in the past. Are these people believers? We didn't send before you except men whom we inspired. Ask those who know the scripture if you do not know. We didn't give them bodies that didn't eat, nor were they immortal. We fulfilled our promise to them. We saved them together with whomever we willed, and annihilated the transgressors. We have sent down to you a scripture containing your message. Do you not understand? Many a community we terminated because of their transgression, and we substitute other people in their place. When our requital came to pass, they started to run. Do not run, and come back to your luxuries and your mansions, for you must be held accountable. They said, Woe to us, we were really wicked. So here we see that prophets do not have secrets. Prophets do not have any secret power, and it only comes from God to support the prophets. And they shouldn't expect something extraordinary. This continued to be their proclamation until we completely wiped them out. We didn't create the heavens and the earth and everything them between just for amusement. If we needed amusement, we could have initiated it without any of this, if that is what we wanted to do. So it is consistent with the rest of the Quran. And God has created us for test and to worship God. And in the testing place, we worship God too. Instead, it is our plan to support the truth against falsehood in order to defeat it. Woe to your for the utterances you utter. To him belongs everyone in the heavens and the earth, and those at him are never too arrogant to worship him, nor do they ever waver. So it is interesting that it comes after the verse 16, 17, and 18, and it targets people who think that world is for fun. And if someone is thinking that his ego is the thing to worship, and they will feel arrogant to worship God because they will think that they are the God. They feel like this, and their ego will lead them. They glorify night and day without ever tiring. Have they found gods on earth who can create? If there were in them other gods beside God, there would have been chaos. Glory be to God, the Lord with absolute authority. He is high above their claims. He is never to be asked about anything he does, while all others are questioned. Have they found other gods beside him? Say, show me your proof. This is the message to my generation, consummating all previous messages. Indeed, most of them do not recognize the truth. This is why they are so hostile. So this is the topic is still on show me the proof. This is the message to my generation, consummating all previous messages, and this is the answer. Indeed, most of them do not recognize the truth. This is why they are hostile. So it is interesting that all other evidence, previous evidence. So, okay, this is sort of evidence, and people were witness, they write, but it is for them and for us, and the message of Quran is the miracle. And we see that how this is the message. We see that here, and we see that we know that because of the fact that the Quran is a message, and God protected it only, and the others were corrupted. So the maybe also protection of the Quran itself is a miracle. We didn't send any messenger before you except with the inspiration. There is no God except me, you shall worship me alone. Yet they said, the most gracious has begotten a son. Glory be to him. All are honored servants. So another thing is, some claim that there are different versions of Quran, or the detail or the change can occur anytime. So you can, and the doubt is inevitable. It's like the doubt of 1% is inevitable. You know why? Because, okay, let's assume that I will say that, uh, okay, let's assume I will publish a different version of Quran and without like this surah, okay, and I will say that this is the right one, and maybe at first they will think that, are you kidding me, this is not the truth, but after 100 years some people may say that, okay, why not, there's another version of the Quran and it was published by me, there are other, so that you understand it, right? So there is always a way to doubt things, but it doesn't disprove God. It's actually about why we hear, because it's about the testing, and we cannot feel it. We cannot just. There will be doubt for sure, but we see that now. Quran doesn't have different versions in Arabic, at least. Its translation can be maybe distorted, but it is Arabic. Original Arabic is almost same, and we see that it wasn't changed drastically. And also there are um, other things that prove that the Quran is from God, like the mathematical uh, mathematical harmony in the Quran. So it's one of the miracles. We didn't send any messenger before you except with inspiration. There is no God except me, you shall worship me alone. It is also important to emphasize that other messages are also not against, not against the Quran, and it is the messages here, the main messages here, it didn't change. Yet they said, the most gracious has begotten a son. Glory be to him. All are honored servants. They never speak on their own, and they strictly follow his commands. So here another important interesting detail. So the word servant was also used uh, in other surah, that in the Musa and he is a person he met, and he has a lot of knowledge about life and future, and he's following God's orders to help people, but he's doing actually weird things and unusual things for a better purpose. And after this, they never speak on their own, and they strictly follow his commands. So for that man, God used this word, and also they never speak on their own, and they strictly follow his commands. So he also follow God's commands, and it mentions. So it's interesting that God mentions this. He knows their future and their past. So in that story, we know that he can know about future, and they do not intercede except for those already accepted by him, and they're worried about their own necks. If any of them claims to be a god beside him, we requite him with hell. We thus requite the wicked. So as I mentioned previously, they want to be God. So, and here in this surah we see that the same similar way of saying it. So their ego is their God, and they want the world to be fun place. And God says, we didn't create it for fun. And we requite him with hell, we thus requite the wicked. Do the unbelievers not realize that the heaven and the earth used to be one solid mass that we exploded into the existence, and from water we made all living things? Would they believe? It's about the Big Bang Theory. An interesting thing is that it is the miracle itself, and it gives information about the future. And also it gives further information, and people ask for miracle and keep saying like, where's the miracle, where's the miracle? And here, there's the miracle. And from water we made all living things. Will they believe and say like, it's the miracle, but they will believe or not? And before that, we see that the protected message is important, and here protected message includes this information about universe. And Prophet Muhammad cannot know about it, and God knows about it. So in the previous videos I mentioned the harmony in the Quran with stories. There are stories going to do another story and another story, and somehow in different surahs and different parts are like a puzzles. So you can combine them even with other surahs, and after you finish one, let's assume you finish the first story of the first one surah, and you're reading the second part, and it reminds you of the another surah. So it's like a puzzle. So it makes it look like, it makes it not boring at all. It makes you feel like you always find a different meaning in the Quran. So I have mentioned it in the previous videos. And that's my interpretation. And thanks for watching this video, and hope to see you in the next video.